Hi everybody, my name is Olivia. I make veganism and animal rights content. Whilst living in Germany for the past few months, something that I've seen quite regularly in my local market is the sale and consumption of horse meat products. After doing some further research, I began to realise that whilst it's not very common in Germany anymore, there are still traditional restaurants and markets which do sell horse flesh. This got me thinking about our cultural norms surrounding which animals we can and cannot consume. And of course, this topic relates to speciesism. As a British person, the idea of consuming horses is very unusual. In the UK, these animals are seen as majestic, caring companions, certainly not as food. And we all remember the 2013 horse meat scandal, where products advertised as spicy beef were actually found to contain horse meat. The British public were outraged. But let's delve into this a bit deeper. What actually makes a horse different from the other animals we more conventionally kill for food, such as cows, pigs, chickens, and fish? They are all sentient, conscious, they are able to suffer. In fact, pigs, for example, are even more intelligent than horses. From the individual perspective of the animal, be that animal a cow, a pig, a horse, or even a dog or a cat, their ability to suffer is the same, and this is what's important. If we follow this line of logic, then just as the British public were outraged during the horse meat scandal, why are we then complacent when other very similar animals are mass slaughtered, abused, and mutilated every single day? The other animals value their lives just as much as the horse does. The only difference between them is what our cultures have dictated we can and cannot do with their bodies. From a young age, we have been taught to regard some animals as food, others as wild and exotic, and some as companions. And when other cultures have differences in the ways that animals fit into these categories, for example, the consumption of dogs in Southeast Asia, sharks in China, and of course horse meat in Germany, it can seem shocking and cruel to see people consuming them. But every time a pig is gassed in a gas chamber, or a fish is crushed to death on a fishing boat, it should be just as great a tragedy as when horses, dogs, or sharks are killed. If the idea of eating a horse or a dog is something you would never entertain because these animals are smart, caring, sentient, and have an ability to suffer, then all the same reasons can be applied to slaughtering pigs, cows, chickens, and fish. It's easy to look at people who consume horses or dogs with contempt. But to vegans, these people are no more morally misaligned than those who consume more conventional animals. Each sentient being deserves to live a life free of unnecessary pain and suffering, regardless of the species they happen to be born into. And we don't have to inflict this suffering upon them when we have the option to consume something else.